Hi, this is Dr. Renee Tucker. I'm here today to tell you about when and why you should completely ignore bone scan results. I know that sounds crazy, but hey, I'll tell you all about it and you can judge for yourself. I'm Dr. Renee Tucker. I've been an equine veterinarian for over 20 years, and I'm the best-selling author of Where Does My Horse Hurt? So, let me tell you what happened. I went to see a horse named Blaze, I'll call her. Beautiful gray mare, great strides, really smooth, reached out lovely. And I saw her after she had had an accident. And here's what happened. She was just standing in the cross ties, concrete cross ties, no mats, and she was had a nylon halter on, and the cross ties were nylon with no breakaways. And then, yeah, you're already picturing it right now. I totally know. 'Cause that's what I was thinking. Oh no! And yeah, she freaked out. No one to this day knows what happened, but she just flipped. And well, she didn't flip, but she tried to flip, but she was stuck. And oh yeah, she also had steel shoes on, so she's scrabbling all over the place. She ends up like sitting down, pulling back on the cross ties. So her right legs ended up to the sitting down to the right, while her other part of her bodies were going to the left. And it was just like, the horror where it seems to take forever, but it was probably only a minute until actually a groom ran up and had a knife and was able to cut that. And so she was loose. Phew, right? So, of course, they check her for, cuts and bruises and swellings and stuff. And she seemed fine. And they gave her a couple of days off. Well, after a couple of days, trot her off. She doesn't seem right, but maybe just stiff. So they tried riding her, and no, she's just wrong. She's stiff, and she's short-strided, and she's awkward, and she's uncomfortable, and it's just like jarring to ride her. And they just stop, of course. They just get off. And then, they gave her some bute and they gave her some time off. And a couple weeks later, checked her again, and still not so good, not so good. Same funky, just wrong kind of movement. So they did have the vet out. They did flexions. They did that kind of stuff. Couldn't really find anything, but thought, well, muscle pull, that's going to be a couple weeks. So they gave her a couple more weeks of rest. Came back out, same problem. Then they thought, well, okay, if it's a ligament or a tendon tear, even though they ultrasounded and couldn't find anything, so let's try 2 months off. 2 months in the pasture, no change whatsoever. And then, let's see. Oh, yeah, so then they gave her more rest. Yeah, because, and actually, that's not a horrible idea, but if you have a groin pull in a horse, it can take about 6 months to really start getting better. And considering what had happened during the cross tie incident, that kind of made sense. So 6 months later, they tried riding her again, and no change whatsoever. Still funky and tight and jarring and weird and not the horse she used to be. So at that point, the bone scan comes in. And the results were quite interesting. There was lighting up areas on part of the lumbar and then both sacroiliac joints, both hips, both stifles, both hocks, perfectly symmetrically down the whole body. And that is the point where I promise you, if it's perfectly symmetrical, right to left, you can ignore it as the primary problem. Those red light up spots are certainly inflammation. Maybe they need some treatment, but they're not the problem. And let me keep telling you Blaze's story so you know kind of what I'm talking about. So they did children. They did IRAP. They did injections, and they did shockwave of each and every part of that horse's body, and gave her 2 more months off from rest. I'm not saying this is wrong. I'm just saying that's what happened. And 2 months later, that horse was exactly the same. Wrong, jerky, jarring, weird, funky, just off. So at that point is when I actually met the horse. And so let me explain what happens bodywork wise. So I've been doing chiropractic and acupuncture for over 20 years. So when the horse's hind end went to the right, the pelvic symphysis got wonky. So the pelvic symphysis is the bottom of the pelvis. So if the pelvis is a big square, then that bottom middle part is the symphysis. When she fell, it went whoop to the right. And then her sternum, which is the front part of the chest there, that again should be straight, but her sternum went left. So the sternum and the pelvic symphysis are the two parts of the body that really keep it balanced. It's just kind of the center foundations. And with those going whoop the wrong way, she had to overuse all the joints in her body to get comfortable and to even, like I should say comfortable. She was just so not comfortable looking, but she was trying. She was really trying, a really good horse, but she couldn't do it. And so when we realigned the sternum and the pelvic symphysis, then everything could relax and it could flow, and we got the stifles and hocks and everything all lined up, and she started to flow. And then all those muscles which had tightened up because they're just wrong started to loosen up, and we got her back. We got her back to flowing and moving and beautiful. Guys, this is 8 months later. So, lesson learned there, huh? But I want to get that lesson out so it can help some other people. If your bone scan is perfectly symmetrical right and left, meaning it lights up exactly the same on the right side as it does on the left side for a certain joint, like the coffin joints, and that's it, then seriously, maybe the coffin joints need some help. Yeah, they're lit up, they're inflamed. But if it's symmetrical, it is not the primary problem, and you need to look someplace else. So if you'd like some more free horse tips by email, you can hop over to my site, wheredoesmyhorsehurt.com, and there are 50 free secrets that your vet doesn't know you can sign up for. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good day.